Hi, this is Alan, and I am here with probably the most beautiful woman with all her black outfit on. Look at Miss Diva and just killing in every respect. Why don't you share with the viewers how important is today's platform, especially with a company and an organization like yours?
I'm just so very grateful to be here. My name is Reggie Reichard, and I'm with the Pause for Peace Foundation. The Pause for Peace Foundation is all about teaching youth about social media literacy and also mindfulness, so using meditation and sound healing and teaching them about their digital footprint. So this is a place where I'm just so grateful to be here and to have these conversations with people and to share what we do.
Wow, well, you get me excited because, people of color, really needs organizations like yourself to make sure that they are impactful in the community, to make sure the literacy, the education, the understanding, and the mindset for the future so that they can be a part of their generation, especially when there's momentum of Web3 and other areas of need, especially social and mental, are in place 10, 20 years from now.
Absolutely.
So why don't you just share with the viewers really what would be a real plan of action in the next 5, 10 years as a plan of action?
Well, honestly, I just want to be very honest. My focus is sharing mindfulness. My focus is to teach every teen between the age of 10 to even young adult 25 about who they are mentally, who they are spiritually. And if Web3 want to come check for us, that is great. If not, that is great too. I am just focused on making sure that this next generation understand how powerful they are, making sure that this next generation understand how to be mindful even if the world is pulling them in different directions. That is my job, and everything else I leave up to the experts.
We are so pleased that we ran into you today. Can check out your nonprofit.
Yes.
And why don't you make sure you let the viewers know how they can follow you, support you, and maybe even get involved with your organization to get some funding going.
Love that. I would love that. Please check me out. It's Pause for Peace, PAUSE number 4 Peace PEACE.org. You can definitely get to the website and see what we do. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram, it's Pause for Peace _. All support is good support, and we are here for you. If you need support, please make sure to reach out, because that's what we do. All mindfulness, all love.
Wow, I'm telling you folks, you better follow this woman. She's incredible, and it's exactly the preparation for the next generation.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
We have room for growth and diverse perspectives. We cannot grow Web3 without every single one of us here participating. So we're going to cover off a couple of things today. First off, what does it mean to have NFT success? We're going to go through the metrics, because this industry moves very fast. And what was success last year is very different to what success is this year and in years to come. We're going to even talk about, should we be talking about NFTs? And more on that in a minute. We're going to do a case study. My company, Navion, let's dive deep into the corners of what we did. We created a model that incorporates a wider circle, not just for our business and our brand, but under this idea of philanthropy. It shouldn't be this one-time thing that you do or add on as a campaign. It should be a living, breathing part of your business models where more people can benefit. In Web2 we talk about unicorns. Unicorns don't exist. In Web3 I like to think about it like the dazzle of zebras. Did you know that a group of zebras is called a dazzle?
Yes.
Well, that's real. And they all win together because they confuse their competition and they are stronger together as a dazzle. So I think about the idea of dazzling in Web3. And then after all that, my favorite part, a very special guest, Catherine Davila is joining us. She is the head of community at one of my favorite football teams, Angel City, here in LA, and she's sitting right there. So she'll be joining us as well, and then we'll have plenty of time for a Q&A afterwards. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so as I mentioned, the the goalposts are changing because adoption is changing, technology is changing. It's still clunky, but getting easier. Let's look at what worked in 2021, which seemed like a million years ago. In 2021, it was very much the year about NFTs for art and industry firsts. It was about the first time. We saw some incredible art come to life, and it really opened our thinking and our worlds creatively. You know, emerging artists were now connecting to global audiences. The barriers to entry were removed. The artist here in Nyla Hayes, 12 years old. That same year she launches one of the first female-led NFTs through her art. She is named the Artist in Residence at Time magazine. You know, 5 years ago, to get any kind of fame or acknowledgement for your art required agents, galleries, infrastructure, capital. You had to find some kind of billionaire, basically, to back who you were. Being that starving artist was the norm. Women like Amber Victoria, Elise Rose, and Nyla were able to show that with ease they could put something out there and build community through their art. So in 2021, being first, experimenting, and really driven through the art perspective, we saw the rise of NFTs filling our news feeds. 2022, things changed a little, and we're all focused on this thing called the PFP, building community. So collecting art was great. Those art NFTs were exciting. What do you do with it? You enjoy it. In 2022, you find your people. And PFPs, which stand for Picture for Proof, became a way that we can identify who our people are. Just like we sit here and we see what people are wearing, and we kind of figure out who are people like us. We're always giving social cues as to what our personalities are in real life. Our PFPs were able to give those social cues through digital. So we saw the Bored Apes, we saw World of Women, we saw Little Weapons, and Flower Girls, and so many other PFPs come about. Navion was also a PFP as part of our first entry into the space. Over to 2023. The buzzword we keep talking about now is utility. So we've got our wallets. We've kind of moved on from being a thick layer of rugs and scamming. We've gotten a little wiser about our own core interests. Our budgets are different now, given a few macro factors in the market. And so now it's about this long-term perspective of utility. So if you're launching an NFT this year, you have to think about what is this long-term roadmap that you have to deliver utility. And the utility can be all kinds of things. There's no one-hit wonder for NFTs. Are you a brand or a project that is looking to create a rewards program and loyalty? Is this something where it's really uniting a community and giving membership access to events, content? Maybe this is about product authentication, particularly for luxury goods. We're seeing that already with brands like Chloe using NFTs and NFCs in their products to certify and verify authentic Chloe items for the secondary market. And of course, product provenance. This is the era where we can finally say goodbye to greenwashing. Right now, it's so easy for any of our favorite brands to say this jacket is made from recycled plastic bottles. We have to believe them. They put that in the ad, a social media influencer said it, and gosh, I hope it's true. In Web3, through the blockchain, we can see exactly how those materials were sourced, when, where, and how, and from delivery to your, from design to delivery on your doorstep, we have that product story. As we keep moving forward though this year, there's a new part of what utility can really mean, and that is this co-creation and co-community. Thinking about philanthropy, I think, doesn't have to just be about this give-give, it's a give-take, co-creation, co-community effort together. And so if you look at our favorite brands, like the Nikes of the world, It's not just these shoes being developed from the design rooms in their campus in Portland. It's now the invitation for anyone who loves Nike to participate and help design and submit ideas and put those through community voting and what the community voice says into actual production. And of course then sharing in royalties, profitability, revenues, and opportunities for those community members to be discovered. And that kind of, I think about the new definition of philanthropy being widening the circle. You know, philanthropy helps everyone, that starting artist who submitted a design to Nike to be shared with their millions of social media followers, to be voted on, and win, and be created. That is widening the circle and giving opportunities that never existed before. Okay, so one of the things I know we're all familiar with is that glaze that you are met with when you start talking to your family and friends about Web3 and NFTs and blockchain and crypto, and then someone says FTX and the room goes quiet and nobody wants to say anything. So let's get back to this idea of, should we even be calling it NFTs? I'm going to stop calling it NFT, and we're going to call it a blender right now, okay? So right now, it's like we have this blender, and we're telling people it's so cool. It has lots of different speeds. Speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get a yellow blender, a red blender, a stainless steel blender. You can get a wireless blender. My blender has a lid with a hole in it, like a little thing that you use to shut it down when it doesn't work. My blender travels with me. No one is yet saying, you can make a margarita in this blender. People can't get excited about the color of a blender. They get excited about what it can do. So until we start describing and showing people what NFTs can do, just describing the technology is not going to advance this movement. It's not about describing technology, it's creating use cases that prove how this works. So for anyone who's thinking about launching an NFT, think about what it's meant to achieve. And go back to the blender. Are you making a margarita? Are you making a soup? Are you making a smoothie? Because once you know what you want it to do, then you'll know what to put into this model. All right, so all talk. Let me show you the action. What did Mavion do? So Mavion is born from our Web2 company called The Accessory Junkie. We worked with hundreds, thousands of independent designers around the world. And we had this mission to scale scarcity. There are 40 million independent designers around the world. And back in 2020, we were accepted into Techstars. And we did the math on what it would take one of these highly talented independent designers in Europe to find a new customer in Express. And we realized that there was a 0.0000004% chance of that happening if they used Etsy, which at the time was the gold standard for independent designers. Because don't forget, they're making beautiful pieces. They're not optimizing SEO. They're going out language barriers and currency exchange. They're just making gorgeous rings, necklaces, bags. And with those kinds of odds on Etsy, as that's the place they're supposed to go, it's virtually impossible for them to grow their business. So our question from Web 2 was, how can we scale scarcity? How do we scale fashion? We don't want to mass produce. And in Web 2, that's the answer, mass production. So we embarked on a path with our advisors, our angels, to really understand how we could scale this scarcity without mass production, without taking away the very essence of what these designers are making and what consumers love them for. And we thought to ourselves, gosh, this digital thing is pretty cool. I think there's something we can do here. In March of last year, we launched Mavion as our first layer, a PFP collection. Identify the community of people who care about this mission. That's great. But more than that, as people revealed which Mavion they received, maybe you got this ring, maybe I got these earrings, someone else, you got those gold earrings up there. If you revealed that in your artwork, you actually received the physical piece. So here are rings that are in the NFT, here's the actual earrings in the NFT. And fantastic, you get to wear this piece that is made by one of 16 independent designers from around the world. And that makes me feel good. As a consumer who's new to the space, I can understand that. I can understand and touch and feel and wear this and receive instant benefit. The utility of style every day of my life. That's layer one. So cool, I have this earring now, I'm wearing it today. What can we do next? Well, this earring, all of the accessories, are then turned into digital assets. Those digital, sorry, go back here, there's the physical utility. And then after that, they're turned into a digital asset. So while there might only be 50 of these earrings, we're going to make this earring into a digital asset that's then sold in gaming, in metaverses, ready for your avatar. And we can sell 5 million of those. And it's not just Mavion benefits from this, it's that independent designer in Greece, in Brazil, all over the world. They're able now to benefit and receive royalties and rewards from the digital sale of this ring, no matter where it goes. And what I love about this is that's a light lift for them. They don't have to understand how gaming works, because we do. We'll put it in the game. We'll help them connect to new audiences around the world and through these digital landscapes, whether it's in games, metaverses, and who knows what comes next. This is something that can live in perpetuity. All right, I'm going to pause there, bring out my wonderful guest. We're going to talk about what Angel City has been doing.
We were birthed from tech and the Time's Up movement. And so you have these two sort of parents that have in some ways traditionally had antithetical values. And we said, no, they go together. And so we are applying to everything we do this sense, this idea that we're more than a club, that we are here to drive for equity. And we are going to pull all the levers possible to do that. So as part of my job, I oversee all of our social impact work. And one of the things that we did, we worked with a partner of ours, Crypto.com, to fund an artist in residency program. And this was really about what you've been saying. It's bridging the traditional artistic pursuits with this evolving landscape that is NFTs and Web3, which frankly, the first time I talked to Michelle, she was so patient with me. I was asking her for help in providing a Web3 workshop for these artists in residence, and I didn't even really know what I was asking. I didn't understand what it meant to mint an NFT. I didn't really understand what Web3 was. So it's been an educational journey for me as well. But we had these 3 young women of color at a program called Let's Build This Project, and over the course of our season, they came in and they took photographs at all of our matches. So they got paid experience in that particular field of art, which is what they had been pursuing. And then we said, well, that is the basis potentially for an entry into this new space. And we worked with Michelle and Mavion to run a Web3 workshop for them and to actually help them create NFTs, which we will be dropping at Angel City over the course of this year. They're really the centerpiece of our NFT program.
I feel like this is a great example of that co-creation, co-community in action. It's not Angel City and we're going to do this one-time promo, everyone supported for one day. It's an ongoing, living, breathing connection to the people that you are supported by and you are supporting them right back.
Yes, I mean, I hope so. That's definitely the aim. So as we work with Let's Build This Project, so first I'll talk about this from the social impact standpoint, which is that I think we can all acknowledge that communities of color have traditionally been shut out of artistic avenues to success, of financial avenues to success. And as those worlds evolve, it's so important that even if they decide they don't want to be a part of them, they have that knowledge and understanding. So that was the basis of this program. Where I hope that we're going with it is really what you're doing at Navion, where we're finding our people. That has been my job for the past 2.5 years, is to find our people here in the city of LA and bring them to the stadium. That's that like hyper-local necessity of a sports team. But we all know that sports are not just a local thing anymore, they are global. We have the capacity to not just watch something on TV, but soon to experience a match as if we were on the field, even if it's happening in Japan, if it's happening in Australia, like the Women's World Cup this year. And so working together, listening to what our community and what our people actually want to figure out, well, how does this iteration of community and art play a part in what we're doing?
Do you also feel that this is an opportunity for even more storytelling? There's more than just, whether it's your sports team or any entity that's trying to incorporate a widening of the circle model, that it just opens up more pockets of who your brand, your culture is, to let others come in and share in that story and then add to the narrative.
Without a doubt. That's beautifully said. That is the whole point and the whole approach, certainly of what I try and do and what I think is the strength of brands moving forward, and it's sort of the next iteration, as I understand it from the workshop that I attended, moving from Web 2 into Web 3, right? It's no longer about the platform, it's about the power of a group.
I'm Michelle Bernice, everyone. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Navion. I'm a cheerleader of curiosity and wanting to make as much knowledge as possible available to everyone so that we have room for growth and diverse perspectives. We cannot grow Web3 without every single one of us here participating. So we're going to cover off on a couple of things today. First off, what does it mean to have NFT success? We're going to go through the metrics because this industry moves very fast. And what was success last year is very different to what success is this year and in years to come. We're going to talk about, should we be talking about NFTs? And more on that in a minute. We're going to do a case study. My company Navion, let's dive deep into the corners of what we did. We created a model that incorporates a wider circle, not just for our business and our brand, but under this idea of philanthropy, it shouldn't be this one-time thing that you do or add on as a campaign. It should be a living, breathing part of your business models where more people can benefit. In Web 2 we talk about unicorns. Unicorns don't exist. In Web 3 I like to think about it like the dazzle of zebras. Do you know that a group of zebras is called a dazzle?
Yes.
Well, that's real. And they all win together because they confuse their competition and they are stronger together as a dazzle. So I think about the idea of dazzling in Web 3. And then after all that, my favorite part, a very special guest, Catherine Davila is joining us. She is the head of community at one of my favorite football teams, Angel City, here in LA, and she's sitting right there. So she'll be joining us as well, and then we'll have plenty of time for a Q&A afterwards. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so as I mentioned, the goalposts are changing because adoption is changing, technology is changing. It's still clunky, but getting easier. Let's look at what worked in 2021, which seemed like a million years ago. In 2021, it was very much the year about NFTs for art and industry firsts. It was about the first of, the first time. We saw some incredible art come to life, and it really opened our thinking and our worlds creatively. Emerging artists were now connecting to global audiences. The barriers to entry were removed. The artist here in Nyla Hayes, 12 years old. That same year she launches one of the first female-led NFTs through her art. She is named the Artist in Residence at Time magazine. 5 years ago, to get any kind of fame or acknowledgement of your art required agents, galleries, infrastructure, capital. You had to find some kind of billionaire, basically, to back who you were. Being that starving artist was the norm. Women like Anna Vittoria, Elise Swopes, and Nyla were able to show that with ease they could put something out there and build community through their art. So in 2021, being first, experimenting, and really driven through the art perspective, we saw the rise of NFTs filling our news feeds. 2022, things changed a little, and we're all focused on this thing called the PFP, building community. So collecting art was great. Those art NFTs were exciting. What do you do with it? You enjoy it. In 2022, you find your people. And PFPs, which stand for Picture for Proof, became a way that we can identify who our people are. Just like we sit here and we see what people are wearing and we kind of figure out who are people like us, we're always giving social cues as to what our personalities are in real life. Our PFPs were able to give those social cues through digital. So we saw the Bored Apes, we saw World of Women, we saw Little Weapons and Flower Girls, and so many other PFPs come about. Navion was also a PFP as part of our first entry into the space. Over to 2023. The buzzword we keep talking about now is utility. So we've got our wallets, we've kind of moved on from the thick layer of rugs and scamming. We've gotten a little wiser about our own core interests. Our budgets are different now, given a few macro factors in the market. And so now it's about this long-term perspective of utility. So if you're launching an NFT this year, you have to think about what is this long-term roadmap that you have to deliver utility. And the utility can be all kinds of things. There's no one-hit wonder for NFTs. Are you a brand or a project that is looking to create a rewards program and loyalty? Is this something where it's really uniting a community and giving membership access to events, content? Maybe this is about product authentication, particularly for luxury goods. We're seeing that already with brands like Chloe using NFTs and NFCs in their products to certify and verify authentic Chloe items for the secondary market. And of course, product provenance. This is the era where we can finally say goodbye to greenwashing. Right now, it's